if they would have shown how Garlemald was destroyed and then you come into a ruined landscape afterwards, it would have made a lot more sense.
The fist fight with fucking Xenos as a Lalafell. It's wrong. I changed my race because of that. It was absolutely... It's like watching a T-Rex try to punch someone.
There's what you see with all the other Asians, like, you know, these really deep stories, and then you just see this guy who literally does not give a fuck.
That's what the entire expansion is about. How do you deal with death and despair? That's it. That's what it's about. Hello, and hopefully everyone can hear us okay. Welcome to this late start of Alith-Cast. So I'm going to ask everyone in the chat to thumbs up if you can actually hear us. Hopefully it's all working okay. While we're waiting for that confirmation that you guys can hear me, we'll do a quick introduction. So as you can see, one of our seats is empty at the moment. Unfortunately, one of our presenters, we believe, has had to go and attend to parenting duties, but I'm sure he will be back shortly. So let's go around the group and just let everyone say hi to our audience. Cristina, do you want to start?
Hi, everyone. Welcome to our big Alith-Cast. And I think Roof is either doing parenting stuff or he ended up being a soup bird. So,
Pigeon soup, possibly. Cool. Good to have you once again, Cristina. I'm sure you'll be bringing the energy as you always do. And we have a familiar face that hasn't graced us with his presence in a little while on the cast. Good to have you back, Clem. I know you're not feeling 100% today, so well done in making an effort. Good to have you back, mate.
Yep.
Thank you very much. Hi, guys. Welcome to this Baldur's Gate 3 cast. It's nice to see you all.
Right? You know, the funny thing is you say this, right? But just 2 days ago, I was saying, oh, look, guys, we've got 56 people online. And then literally the day Baldur's Gate came out, it was 19 people online. I was like, okay, so I guess we're a Baldur's Gate 3 guild now. Indeed. But I mean, I've dipped my toe into Baldur's Gate. And yeah, it looks like a great game. So I don't blame anyone for checking it out. So I'm just asking the chat if everyone can hear everyone on the cast. I know you've given me a thumbs up. Can everyone hear Cristina and Clem okay?
I hope they do.
Yeah. Belle's audio is a bit low. Okay, so let's fix that. Good shout. I was always wondering.
Shit. Right? Can I just say one more thing?
How's that, Bob? Is that better? Hopefully that's a bit better. Go for it, Cristina.
Okay. Well, Myron asked me to, so I'm just gonna do it. Myron has opened a shop in his house. He made his house a shop. So if you need gear or weapons or whatever, go to Myron's house.
There we go. So I've turned my volume up a bit. Hopefully that's better. I'm not sure, but we'll see. Cool. Let's get this show on the road. Hopefully Ruth will join us shortly. So this is the big one. We've had the big news of the next FF14 expansion, which is called Dawntrail. DT, I guess we'll be referring to it as. So that's what we're going to dive into. All the news that was shared regarding Dawntrail and just get your guys' reactions. But let's make this interactive. Let's get the audience involved. So it'd be good to hear from the audience what everyone watching thinks.
Can we never, ever call it DT, please? No one ever called it EW. No one ever called it, I can't even remember, SB or anything like that. DT, it just brings back nightmares of being in school for design technology. Just, no.
Cool. Just making sure that all the sound's working okay, guys, because we're getting feedback from Cristina, I think, that there's sound issues. So everyone who's in the chat, does everything sound okay? Can you guys all hear the stream okay? Because Cristina, I think it's on your end, the problem, because...
It's not on my end, definitely not, but I can hear some weird stuff. I mean, I always hear weird stuff.
Have you got your YouTube muted, Cristina, or your browser
It's on my
muted?
phone, and it's muted. So.
Oh, okay.
I can.
So
either...
nobody else in the chat can hear it, Cristina. So.
Okay, then it's fine. Then it's fine. Okay, right, maybe it's just my brain.
Let's dive in, guys. Let's dive in. Cool. So let's dive into all things Dawntrail. So I guess we'll start with the obvious thing, which is, I guess, the headlines of the expansion. So in terms of what do we know? Spare me 2 secs. What do we know? So Dawntrail's coming out summer next year, 2024. So we've got, I guess, just over a year, depending on when it comes out to wait. The new location that we're going to, the new continent, is the New World. Also, now we know the name is called Chural. The kind of theme color that they're going for is gold this time, a la City of Gold, El Dorado. And clearly we're going to South America, right? That's what we've all taken from this, that we're going to South America. We're going to be eating tacos and looking for the lost City of Gold, hanging out with Aztecs and Mayans and the like, I'm sure. And we are getting a level cap increase to level 100. So I guess those are the key bits of information. And I have got the trailer on standby, so let's get the trailer running while we chat.
Yes.
And while that's running, I guess let's just go around the group and just get your guys' initial impressions, reaction to what the next expansion is and where we're going. So, Cristina, Clem, either of you want to jump in first? What was your initial reactions or thoughts?
Ladies first.
Okay, well, I went all crazy when I saw Graha eating this taco because I love Graha Tia, of course, and I also love tacos, and I was like, ah! And I kind of fell in love with the Warrior of Light because, damn, he had a massive glow up in the trailer. So I was like, So yeah, and obviously the story, I cannot wait to see the new story. I cannot wait to see where we go, how it goes, and all that. So yeah, I'm excited.
We're finally getting big fat tacos after all this time.
Yep.
Were you surprised, Cristina, about where we were going in terms of the story and the location? Were you expecting something different?
I didn't have very big expectations, to be honest, because it was quite hard for me to think about where we should go. And I'm very hyped about everything that I saw this far, even though it's hard for me to place it. But yeah, I love the part where we were on the boat in the trailer, and yeah, the Graha stuff. And I'm sorry, but I'm very distracted because I keep hearing myself talking, and it's very annoying.
Normally, if you can hear yourself, Cristina, it usually means that somewhere on your PC you have a browser open with YouTube and it's playing the stream. So you've got to find that browser window and close it.
I'm looking for it. Okay.
Because usually, if you can hear yourself, because if Clem can't hear it, then it's definitely on your own.
Hang on.
Cristina.
No, I can still hear us. I can still hear everyone. But
You've
it's
got a
fine.
browser
It's
open
fine.
with the YouTube.
No.
Video for sure.
It's gonna be fine. Anyway, I am very excited about the new story. I'm very excited about everything they announced, to be honest. So yeah, can't wait.
Cool. I'll go next, Clem, if you don't mind.
Go for it.
I'm kind of bursting to give my first impressions. So I'll hold my hands up and say that I got this one completely wrong. I like to predict and speculate what's going to happen with FF14 story. So, and we are going into story mode here, guys. So if you were here to not hear about spoilers, you're in the wrong place. Just giving you that spoiler warning. We can't talk about Dawntrail without talking about the story. Hey, a pigeon has arrived. Better late than never.
Nope.
Oh, hang on,
okay.
Ruth. I think we've got you on mute, but let's unmute you, just because in case there are any noises in the background, let's get you unmuted. Okay, you can speak, Ruth. Are you okay? Are you alive?
I managed. Sorry about that, guys.
No
It's
worries,
okay.
mate. Parenthood is never easy, so we can empathize. But well done for managing to get back. Is the little pigeon okay? Cool. We were just giving our first impressions, Ruth, on the trailer, where we're going next with FF14. So I was just giving my take. So yeah, you guys will know that we've between Endwalker and now, we've basically been doing the Final Fantasy IV story arc with the Void, Zero, Gold Bears, all of that stuff. And I was convinced, and I blame Square Enix for this, that this was the build up to the expansion, and that in the expansion we were either going to be trying to save the 13th Void, try and help it return back to how it was before, or at least I thought maybe the Void would be some of the areas that we'd be going to, and maybe we'd also go to other areas like Mericidia, New World, etc. But I thought the Void would still be part of the main story. So Square Enix hit us with a curveball with this reveal, and the fact that nope, the Void and the whole FF4 thing is basically a filler story in between Endwalker and Dawntrail, right? I didn't think that they were going to just use that as a filler story, but apparently it's just a filler story. So I was wrong on that one. And yeah, we're going to the New World. I'll admit that I remember a couple of references to the New World in the game, but I didn't really remember or know much about it until obviously the trailer and the reveal. But yeah, my take on it is clearly they're kind of, Yoshi P said this during the fan fest. We've been saving the world, saving the universe, saving like existence as we know it, and now he's basically reining it all back and saying, okay, let's just get back to the ground. Let's explore more of our own world and let's kind of reset things. So it's interesting that we're not kind of escalating the story to another higher.
He said we deserve a vacation. He said
he's basically saying we're going on a vacation.
Yes.
It's a summer vacation.
It's a summer vacation. But he did also say, but of course there's going to be some conflict. There's going to be some turmoil. Otherwise,
it
wouldn't be much of an adventure if it was just a holiday.
We're the goddamn warriors of light. We don't get holidays. We always get drama. Even when we think, oh, this is fine, we still get drama. Like, oh, this is a nice place. Oh, somebody died. Well, to the rescue we go.
So yeah, so I'll admit that I was a little surprised because I did get it wrong. I thought like the Void and the 13th was going to play some parts in the expansion, because if you look at the pattern previously with Stormblood and Shadowbringers and Endwalker, all the quests and the stories leading up to the expansion were very much building you up for the expansion. So this is the first time where the build-up has had nothing to do with the actual expansion. That's why it threw me off guard, because in Stormblood we knew that we were going to Alamigo and Doma and Othard. We knew we were going there based on where the story was going. Same with Heaven's Sword. We knew we were going to Ishgard because of where the story was going. We knew we were going to the first for Shadowbringers, but this time, curveball, man. They're like, nope, we're going on a holiday. So I waffled on it for a bit, but yeah, Ruth or Clem, either do you guys want to give your take?
Go for it, Clem.
I'm just absolutely chuffed that we're going to an area that feels more natural, that feels more earthy, if that makes sense. Like I found that like Endwalker, as much as it was fantastic expansion, the storyline was amazing, etc. Found the areas very bleak. Like, let's go to the moon for fuck's sake. Like, whereas like this place, you know, there's jungles, there's islands, there's water, there's mountains. It just feels a lot more earthy. It just feels more real to me, if that makes sense. It's not going to feel as bleak. So I'm really, really looking forward to go in there. To be honest with you,
I'm not an Endwalker fan at all, right? But in its defense,
burn the witch.
Yeah, burn.
Burn me. I'm already wearing orange.
Who's not an Endwalker fan, man? Come on, man.
I'm not an Endwalker fan, but you are comparing areas after an expansion, like I mean the Shadowbringers environment was so rich. It was a whole new world they could create, right? And then you're coming back to the first and back to the source, and then, I mean, in its defense, the whole going back to the what's it called? Back in time, you know, before the breaking. That was a fantastic environment. Sorry.
I mentioned, I make a small comment, like I found the moon bleak, and now the chat is going ballistic saying that I'm now denying the existence of the moon. Like, words have just been taken out of my mouth here and out of context.
I mean, it is Final Fantasy, but to be honest, I mean, I basically live in Final Fantasy. I mean, if I don't have to go anywhere, I'm just sitting here on this chair and I'm just playing Final Fantasy. It's like my second real world. It's my second life, you know? And I got excited by seeing that we will be in a more realistic environment, because it makes the game feel even more real to me. I mean, I think I might be annoyed in the jungle parts, because whenever I'm going to use my mount, I got so annoyed in Great Raktika because of all the trees and all that. I can't even fly my mount properly without running into trees, but we'll see. We'll see.
The background music in Raktika is amazing.
It's amazing.
Hello. So in terms of the zones, so I'll tell you what we know just based on what they revealed at the Fan Fest. So obviously the new continent is called Chiral, or the New World, and they've revealed a couple of the zones within that. So what they said was that the new hub city, well, there's going to be 2 new hub cities, but we only know one of them so far, and that's called, I'm going to butcher all these names, but is it Tuliolel? I think that's how it's pronounced. So that's the name of the new hub city, which is basically where like all these Mumol Jar people are from, right? And they said that it's being ruled by a 2-headed Mammal Jar, which is that big giant ass creature with the 2 heads that you see the warrior like fighting.
What's his name, Bell?
It's not Jar Jar Binks, I can tell you that.
What's his name, Bell?
His name is Glul Jar Jar.
Oh, this is fucking epic.
Glul Jar Jar. I don't know why Jar Jar. Like, they clearly are obsessed by Star Wars, because even the logo of Dawntrail looks like an Imperial Star Destroyer from Star Wars. So, and the leader of the city is called Jar Jar as well. So
maybe they could be like, we've got to pronounce the jar as a ya sound like in German. So like it's Galul Ya Ya.
Oh my god! Imagine if they will make an event and give us a stormtrooper outfit. That would be so cool. I want it. I want it.
So the story is basically, what they've told us so far is very limited. What they've said is there's basically going to be a rite of succession happening where they're trying to determine who the next ruler is going to be. So this 2-headed Mammal Jar is not going to be supposedly the ruler for much longer. And they're saying that it's going to divide the Scions into 2 groups. And they were teasing and saying, oh, which group are you going to be part of? So I'm assuming, I don't know this, I'm speculating now, but I'm assuming what it means is there's going to be 2, I guess, people battling to become the next ruler, and you'll either camp this person or camp that person, and maybe they're going to split the Scions so that there's 2 groups of Scions kind of backing each candidate, is what I'm assuming is going on.
It's not Star Wars, it's World of Warcraft, right? So 2-headed ogres, like, okay, now you have the Horde versus the Alliance, open world PvP maybe, I don't know, it will be a stretch, but yeah.
It looks like that we're the cause of it all as well, because of in the trailer, I think that we fight this Galul Jar Jar guy, and it's a case of like, so basically it's classic, Final Fantasy Warrior of Light. We turn up, we fucking fuck everything up, and then cause all these ruptions everywhere, and then we've got like 4 expansions of stories ahead of us.
Well, you say this, Clem, and that would make sense, but however, they did say that a visitor from Chiral invites the Warrior of Light to aid in the rite of succession in determining the next ruler. So it sounds like
we're just gonna kill one of those.
I don't know if we're the cause of it, but apparently we're being invited to come and help with the rite of succession. So I'm assuming there's already a decision made that there's going to be a new ruler, and they're inviting us to try and help determine that. But I don't know. We're speculating. Like, we don't really know.
Is the ruler going to be Erendil? That's the question. In the trailer, on the boat.
No chance.
They are the visitor from another land, maybe, because he even says it's my homeland.
I feel like he's from there, but I feel like he's just the messenger who's come to call us to come over and help. I don't feel like he's one of the actual candidates. I feel like he's just, he's going to be in the story. He's kind of the person who's tried to get us over there to help them deal with their civil conflicts. I think that's what's going on.
You think?
On the other hand, there has been a lot of plot twists and oh shit or oh fuck moments in the game. Yeah. So I wouldn't be surprised if it was somebody who seemed friendly and then he's like, oh, can you guys help me kill that person because I'm trying to be the big guy here or the leader or whatever.
Square Enix love like throwing red herrings at us, right? So they make it appear like something's happening in the trailers, and then you play it and it's actually completely different. So anything's possible.
Potato Queen woman, what's her name?
Tataru?
Potato Queen?
You what? Sorry, what?
Tataru?
not her. The other one, the actual queen, Nanamo.
Nanamo. Yeah.
Whatever in it. Well, like we first meet her and we didn't know that she was the queen. And it's like rags to riches kind of thing.
Yeah,
But I do think that it could be a rags to riches story with Renville being over in Charlian, and then like he's just over here doing this thing, and now all of a sudden he's a prince. Because that's the kind of thing the Square like to do, don't they? Like we have seen it multiple times. It just wouldn't shock me. Put it that way.
Yeah, no,
with,
for sure.
With the whole Corsair team and with the pirate team that you're having, I think Limsa Lominsa is going to be the city that's heavily involved here.
Yeah, so
I mean, we did have a bunch of story things in Ul'dah and Gridania and whatever, and Limsa always was a little bit more. For my experience, Limsa was always a little bit more on the background when it came to new expansions or storylines. So I think Roof might have a point that Limsa will be involved here. Also, just a side note, what I know about for myself for the main scenario is even though they made it sound very pretty, like vacation and blah blah blah, I'm still gonna cry my eyes out because they do that every fucking time with every fucking new story. I'm always crying, so I'm not gonna be super happy and hyped and joy. Oh yeah, this is so much fun. No, I'm gonna be scared. I'm gonna be sitting here shitting my pants all the time and waiting for that one moment. Where I'm gonna cry.
They need to kill off another main character. I'm just going to say it now. It's been way too long since they killed off a main character. We're overdue. I thought they'd killed somebody off in Endwalker, but yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you're right, Cristina. There'll definitely be plenty of emotional stuff going on for sure. So just coming back to the zones, guys, because I want to kind of lead on to the whole City of Gold business, which we'll come on to. But so the other areas that they revealed, other than the main city, which, what did I say it was again? Tuliolal? I think that's it. So the main city is in a region called Yogg-Tiral. So Yogg-Tiral is like one of the regions that we know about. And within Yogg-Tiral, there's a mountainous area called Urkopacha, I think it's Urkopacha, which is a mountainous region. They showed us some screenshots. In fact, it's on the screen now. And they said it's home to... They said it's home to both really big characters and really small characters, but they also said it has a lot of ruins from an ancient giant civilization that are no longer, I assume. And they also showed a screenshot of one of the first beast tribes, or tribes, which is basically a small little small type of character. I don't have a screenshot on. I'm assuming they're from there as well. So again, we only got pieces here, but it's this mountainous area which is called Urkopacha, which has more rainbow-colored mountains, by the way. So we had rainbow-colored mountains in Thavnir. We've got rainbow-colored mountains here as well now. That's what we know about that zone so far. We've had quite a few screenshots of it. It looks very Azim steppy to me, the kind of the theme that they're going for. And then the third and final zone that we got told about is a place called Yagtel, which is the big forest region, which they described as being very dense, and they said it has two layers. So you have the layer underneath the canopy, I guess, on the ground, and then you have an area above the canopy, which I think they hinted that Hrothgar were going to be living in one of these areas, and Mammal Jar are going to be living in the other area. Now, I think
that there might be 3 areas to that, actually, because they also mentioned that there's underground springs and stuff as well. So it might be like the canopy, the ground level, and the underground springs.
Yeah.
So,
and that
it's interesting that they go for this kind of verticality in the game as well.
Yeah, and actually, you make a good point, because I was trying to think, because they said some Mammal Jar live in this zone. I was thinking, well, where would Mammal Jar live? Because they're very amphibian, and so it would make sense that they would be underground in that like swampy area that you were talking about, and the Hrothgar probably live on the ground level, or maybe up in the sky. But yeah, it sounds like a really interesting area. And I think with the graphics update, I don't know if you guys saw what the foliage looks like with the graphics update, but it looks amazing what they've done with the greenery and the foliage. It's just so much more lush and thick and detailed. I think that forest area will look really good.
But also, like, if you have a look at the video, right, the introduction video, like the facial expressions, like the entire graphical update they're doing, like when they take a bite out of the burger, whatever they're eating, right, it's the facial expressions are improved so much. And I mean, the character. We'll get to the character improvements, I'm sure, but like everything they do right now on a graphical level, it's impressive.
It's epic.
Yeah. My take on the graphics updates is that it doesn't look like it's a radical update. It's not completely rebuilding the graphics. The biggest impression I got was the metal surfaces all look shiny. And it makes sense because this new expansion is about the City of Gold. There's going to be a lot of gold everywhere. They want it to look shiny and glitzy, so you can tell that like the graphic update making all the metal surfaces look shiny is going to work brilliantly for that. Yeah. The character models I was less impressed with. There was I know more shadow details, but I wasn't that impressed with the character differences. For me, it was like the foliage for me looked amazing, like what they've done with like the grass and plant life, and all the metal surfaces looked really, really good. But Cristina, you say you were impressed with the character models, yeah?
I was totally impressed. Yeah, it's way more natural. Like they almost it's like if you're playing Final Fantasy now, it's great. It already has great graphics and all that. But when I saw what they are gonna do with the graphics, I went like, holy shit, this isn't gonna feel like I'm playing a video game with pixels anymore. This is just gonna be like I'm playing a movie. Or it was so good. And even the details on the food. I saw Graha with the motherfucking taco and I got hungry. I was drooling because Graha looked very pretty. The Warrior of Light looked very pretty. And the taco looked delicious. So, yeah. And I'm not into weird fruits that I don't know. And I don't know what Alith was eating on the trailer. But even that, if anybody knows that kind of fruit, let me know. I want to try it because it looked so delicious.
But Cristina, you know the trailer is CGI. That's not going to be the in-game graphics. That just looks
no,
nice.
I know because it's a trailer. That's what Omega said as well. But even with the things that they showed about the graphics, I'm super excited. The part where they showed a part on a live stream from Lira Laram, where all the pixies are, and just the details, the flowers, the grass, the colors. I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
That was so amazing. And I'm also wondering if you have finished the Pixie Beast tribe. You know, you have this area where you go inside. It's like basically a play garden. I see it as a play garden because it's very colorful and you have all these climbing activities where all the gates are. And I'm just curious because they didn't show that yet, if they will improve that as well.
Well, they said they will. They said they are going to be going back and applying the new graphics to all of the content, but they did say be patient. They're going to be working their way through it. I think all the new stuff with Dawntrail will have the graphics update, but then they're going to gradually go back and do all the previous zones. So that will be cool to go back to places like that and see what it looks like. Yeah. There's been a couple of really good comments in the chat. So Zombie Parent made a good point, which is that there's only so far they can push the graphics updates without it needing people to like seriously upgrade their PCs and also being able to be played on consoles. So I think there's part of it where they don't want to do too much of the graphics, so it's still accessible by the mass audience. But also, they did say during FanFest that they still want people to like recognize their characters and like the style of the game. They don't want to lose the style of the game. So if they redid the graphics from the ground upwards, it wouldn't look like Final Fantasy XIV anymore. No. And people would say my character doesn't look like my character anymore. It looks like some photorealistic, different game. So I get that they still want it to look like Final Fantasy XIV, but just a bit shinier, a bit more detailed, but keep the same aesthetic.
I don't think they will change it entirely, because you have to think we have a lot of players who play with PS4, PS5, and they even started a collab with Xbox. So Xbox players will be able to play Final Fantasy XIV as well, and you're not gonna tell me that a PS4 or an Xbox can handle the graphics that we would need if they would change everything.
Yeah, PS4 would struggle. I think the PS5 obviously could handle pretty good graphics. I'm not sure with the
PS4 definitely not.
No.
Well, the S maybe not, but the X, yes, I think. The bigger version is pretty much on par with the PS5, so I think that'll be fine. But the stripped down version will be like a PS4 experience, I guess.
So Flecky's made a comment in the chat saying he's a bit concerned about what it's going to mean for the new player experience, because there's so much story now for people to get through before they get to endgame. And how are they going to cope with this? And I think one of the obvious answers is story skip, which they have made possible, I think. But for those people who want to skip the story, I think they can do it. I wouldn't, but I think the option is there. But also, Flecky, I'm pretty sure that a little while ago they did try and streamline all of the A Realm Reborn stories. They did they did a big overhaul to make that a lot quicker, and they might do the same with Heavensward and Stormblood, except they might say, okay, well, let's
I think they already have with Heavensward, haven't they?
Okay, maybe, yeah, possibly, but I think
they
that's
also they made
Sorry,
a lot
go
of
on, Cristina.
adjustments because they made several dungeons and everything easier. They also know that it's older content. That's also why I think that they implemented trust everywhere now. Because I can imagine if you're a DPS and you need to do your first time dungeon in A Realm Reborn, you're just gonna have a 20-hour queue before you get in. So that's the thing that they did. But also for me, I've been playing this game for 3 years now, and I was also lagging behind loads with the main story because I was also very distracted all the time. I need to admit that. But they also are gonna expand the free trial up till Stormblood, I believe.
Yes.
They're gonna make it bigger. So I think that's also a good motivation for players because they will have their time to get to Stormblood and then progress on the main.
I think a potential of what they could actually do here is, like, if people wanted to start at, so like we're obviously level cap is 100 now when Dawntrail is released, so people could literally just start at 90. You could literally do, like, Square could do a 15-minute video of the lore, basically, of what's happened in the previous 4 games, and then you can just start at 90 and go, because this is the new starting point, this is the new story, the new path where we're going. So just a quick brief update of going, this happened, Hydralin happened, this happened, and then just go, and now you're level 90, you're on an island, go to town. It starts.
I could have swore I thought they did implement something like that. You could buy like a consumable something, and you could skip like certain expansion stories. Maybe I
misread that. Is it for expansions?
That.
Because I know they have it for jobs. You can buy level
jobs,
skips for jobs, but you don't have them
story.
for. But I'm just gonna give a small hint to people who aren't far in the main story yet. What you also can do is there are loads of channels on YouTube with people who just put together a summary of the expansion. That basically shows the most important moments and make sure that you can also follow the story, and then you can, for example, watch it, but you can skip the parts.
But honestly, I mean, the story it's done, right? And I know you can buy a story skip. I see that.
Looks like you can. Yeah. Chat is saying you can. Well. You can do it. Yeah.
You can. However, I mean, the story is done, right? So I mean,
the story is done. You can see yourself out, Ruth.
I said the story is done, right? Not dumb.
Oh, done. I thought you said it's dumb.
No way. I would not be here if I thought that. No, but I mean, 10 years of history. Come on, no way.
I don't know if you know or not, Ruth, but like Bell is an oil baron now, so like he has the money to be able to dispatch someone to your house.
I don't have the money.
I will put my address here on the street, and you're welcome. I will have the barbecue running, right?
So funny.
Okay, babysit babies. You're welcome.
But let's come back to Dawntrail then, guys. So this whole City of Gold business, let's do a bit of speculating. So I think that the City of Gold will be one of the final zones that we end up going to, and I think you'll have a whole region that's going to be the City of Gold, and everything's going to be made of gold. That's my theory. I don't know how it's going to fit in the story, whether there's going to be a hub city there, I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure, because they've only revealed 3 zones. I reckon the City of Gold, which they've made reference to, will be one of the last zones. A bit like how Elpis and what's the place called where you go into space? I forgot what it's called. Is it Ultima Thule? Ultima Thule, I think it's called.
Ultima Thule,
basically, one of those kind of final zones. I think is going to be the City of Gold. But what's your guys' thoughts on that?
It would be a little bit silly if they didn't put the City of Gold on the end, because I think most people are excited to see the City of Gold, and that's basically what we're working towards. to
Mhm.
like, okay,
Yeah.
we gotta do this because we want to reach the City of Gold. So,
There's
I mean,
definitely
I'm
gonna
not
be a
gonna work
dungeon-
my ass off. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna work my flat Warrior of Light ass off to end up in a jungle. And I also want to have a butt
Wow,
slider.
what's wrong with jungles? But yeah, there's probably going to be a dungeon there as well, right? You can see them having like a gold themed dungeon. They said gold is like the theme of the expansion, right? Just like purple was the theme of Shadowbringers, and I guess lights was the theme of Endwalker and that sort of thing. So I assume, yeah, gold is kind of the vibe they're going for. So yeah, pretty interesting. I am wondering what other zones there are going to be, because they haven't showed all the zones yet, and so far all the zones they have shown are very green. We've got 3 green zones, and I'm thinking there needs to be a bit of diversity, variation, right? We might get a gold zone, but there's got to be something different, like, I don't know, like a snow zone or a desert zone or an underwater zone. I don't know, something different from all the green that we've seen so far.
I think they'll be underwater. I think just because of
You
like
reckon?
where it's based and all, like it's all based around ships and the sea and stuff like that. I genuinely like a little bit like Stormblood with Othard and the
Yeah,
Red
it's a
Sea
good
or the
shout.
sea, whatever it's called, like something like that. I feel it will have an underwater area.
Agreed.
Like snow, they can like maybe like because obviously you've got the mountain area in Urkapacha, so maybe if you go a little bit higher up, maybe there will be, because you can see
Yeah.
snow on the mountains in the trailer.
Yeah, you can, yeah.
I just don't want a desert area. Like,
Not
I don't
another
know
one.
why. I
We've had a
hate
few.
desert
We've had-
areas.
We've
I
had a
have
few.
PTSD from Ulda, so
Amareng is one of my favorite
Talon.
zones, though. Like, maybe it's mainly because of the music, but I really like Amareng from Shadowbringers.
It's just bleak. It's the same like Amareng, that other one with the lagoon in it, like it's southern Thanalan somewhere. I think it is. Like that's it's just bleak. I hate bleak.
Yeah,
I
I
think
know, I get
is
it. I get it.
lots of islands, like a Caribbean style, not just
Yeah.
jungle, but small islands.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of
Let's
like
talk. Sorry, Ruth. Didn't
No,
mean to cut
it's
you off, mate.
kind of like what was happening in Stormblood, right? With the islands and the underwater zone at the same time, but then more Caribbean style, I guess.
Indeed.
Why is the chat still going ballistic about the moon?
That's what I'm
Like
looking
seriously, it's just moon. Like it's just moon.
at. We're not going to the moon again, guys.
Just let it go.
The thing is, we're going.
Before we move on to another thing, like
Yeah.
because we actually discussed, like we're still on Yurkapaka and we're talking about the new race, basically the Pelu Pelu. They did actually say that there were entrepreneurs on alpacas.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
is there an alpaca mountain coming?
Oh, yeah,
I think
for
so,
sure.
and I
For
hope
sure.
so, and
For sure.
I hope you can make it spit.
I'm going to
I
make a
don't know why.
prediction, Clem. I think it's
it
going
would
to.
be so much fun if you certain mounts have these small actions you can use.
Yeah.
Think about it, an alpaca mount that can spit. I mean, we already have the Gobu who sneezes on everyone, so why not make an alpaca that spits?
Clem, I'm going to make a prediction. It's going to be the what you know when the expansion comes out, it always comes out with an exclusive mount. It's going to be an alpaca.
No.
Why
No,
wouldn't they?
seriously?
Why
Like,
wouldn't
you know,
they? It's
you've got
literally South
because of, like you've
America.
got epic mounts. You've got the thing with like the curtains that come out of it that makes you fly. You've got like the Pegasus,
Maybe it'll be
the
an
metal
epic
Pegasus.
alpaca.
You've got a griffin, and now you've got a fucking alpaca. How's an
It could be
alpaca
a-
meant to fly?
It could be an epic alpaca, like a
I don't
pimped
care
out
how
alpaca.
epic it is. Like, well, we're wearing a fucking hat and a fucking feather in it. I don't care. How's it gonna fly?
I know a while ago the white stag was the unofficial Alith mount, but I'm gonna vote for the alpaca to become the new Alith official mount.
Oh, I agree. Also, the
Yes.
stag also flies without wings or whatever. I mean,
Stag is awesome.
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
missing the stag. but-
and what about all the horses who don't have wings? They also fly.
Indeed.
Yeah, I know, like that fucking giraffe. Like, seriously, that's one of the worst fucking mounts in the game
No,
as well.
the
Just
the turtle from the Gold Saucer is the worst mount in the game. You can sit on
Yeah,
it
it
for
does actually make
20
you feel
seconds
dizzy.
and you get very dizzy.
And now we
Let's,
have moon alpacas. Oh, for fuck's sake! Right? Okay, let's move on.
Let's move on. Let's move on. But what I will say is we are going back to the moon for 6.5 because it looks like the new dungeon is going to be on the Void's moon from what I've seen. So we'll talk about that in the next Alith-Cast. But yeah, we've got plenty of moon before we go to Dawntrail. So let's talk about jobs. So again, I was wrong, and everyone made sure to remind me that I was wrong. I thought that they were going to reveal one of the jobs in the first Fan Fest, but they're clearly keeping it for the next 2 Fan Fests. We did get some teasers though. We know we're getting 2 new jobs. We know we're getting a new caster DPS and a new melee DPS. So we're getting 2 DPS jobs. No, not healers or tanks. And we know Ninja Turtles. So the classic Yoshi P t-shirt teaser made its appearance, and he was wearing a Ninja Turtles. I think it's the Mutant Mayhem, the new film that's come out, and the speculation is just off the charts across YouTube. And there's so many different. The thing is with Ninja Turtles, it literally could be anything. Like you could find theories from the Ninja Turtles for so many different jobs. So I don't know if you guys have given it any thought as to what you think.
Yes, I've looked at several YouTube videos, and one theory that I like a lot is the translation of turtle in Spanish is tortuga, right? And since we're going to some Latin American impressed area, right? Tortuga, pirates, and Corsair. I know it's been called a lot, but I'm gonna say Corsair is definitely one of them.
Corsair is the favorite at the moment. That's the current favorite speculated job for a few reasons. Obviously, they're making some of those connections that you made there, Ruth, but also from the trailer, what the little bits that you do see of the Warrior of Light. He's dressed like a pirate. He's fighting with this pirate-like sword that we don't have in any other jobs. So there's a lot of speculation, and obviously the whole theme of it being we're going to an island, and so the pirate Corsair job is definitely probably the most favorite one at the moment. But who knows, man? Who knows?
I don't know, see, because like, all right, Corsair is like out there, but it's also known as the Gambler, and it's. I think that the ranged magical is going to be a Gambler instead as a class, and the big thing that gave that to me was the coin on Yoshi P's thing in the background is a gold coin, so it's meant to be gold. That's the theme. It's all about money. You think of gold, you think money. I'm really leaning towards Gambler.
How is that connected to Turtles, though?
Well, it's not. It's the coin in the background on the T-shirt. So if you saw the T-shirt, there's a coin in the background with TMNT on it, and it's in gold as well.
Mayhem,
so I genuinely Mayhem. Yeah, I'm leaning towards Gambler because of like. I really do think it's going to be Gambler, like Kate Sith and stuff like that in Final Fantasy VII. I think it's going to be Gambler.
There are some Gambler type jobs in the Final Fantasy series. The interesting thing is that I know that in Japanese culture, they're not a big fan of gambling in general. So it would be a little bit brave Square Enix to go for a Gambler job when in Japan in general, gambling is seen in not a very positive light. But that doesn't mean...
You've been to the Gold Saucer in game, yeah?
I know. It's just a game. I know it's a game that can do anything. I know. But yeah, no, that's a really good shot. And the thing is, like the T-shirt could only be a hint to one of the jobs, not necessarily a hint for both of the jobs. And previously, the T-shirt was only a hint for one job. Previously, the T-shirt wasn't a hint for both jobs. So yeah, I think that's a good guess. Lots of guesses in the chat as well that we've got going on. I think I saw somebody write mutant on there. Imagine having a mutant job. But yeah, honestly,
the other thing that I'm trying to think of is it possible? Like, I don't know, like if this class exists, but like a philosopher class or something like that. Because you think of like Michelangelo. He was a bit of a philosopher. Raphael was a philosopher. So was Donatello. So I'm thinking, like, could it be that? But they're also artists as well.
On that, yeah, exactly. I mean, that's one of the popular speculations as well, is that it's going to be like a pictomancer or some kind of art type job, because also the Ninja Turtles are named after famous artists. So yeah, there's definitely something in that as well.
I had a big brain moment earlier on. So whilst I was in the shower earlier on, getting ready for this, make myself look pretty, thinking about Yoshi P in the shower, and I thought to myself, so wait a minute now, you got the 4 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. What are their names? So it's them, and then I'm looking at it and going, what's special about them? They've all got different weapons. You've got staff, you've got sai, you've got your nunchucks, you've got your ninjato. And I was thinking to myself, like, So those weapons there, what would they be used by a class? And I thought, well, those are kind of all like Asian weapons. Monk! They're going to release Monk! And then it dawned on me then that it's already a fucking class in the game and has been since A Realm Reborn.
Yeah.
But I felt so big-brained when I was in the shower and I thought about it and I thought, like, wow, I've got this. It's Monk. It's going to be Monk. And then completely forgot that it existed.
The problem is we have
I
Sorry,
had a similar thought because I was like, it would be cool if they created some sort of weapon that basically transforms into nunchucks. But then I was like, what chop uses nunchucks? Wait, that's a ninja.
Well,
we already have a ninja.
Yeah, ninjas, samurais.
And I was also thinking, and I saw that,
yeah.
I think Flecky said that as well. And that's the thing that I agree on, and even Omega agrees on it. I think they will release a class that will be able to use scouting gear, because we have all classes who have shared gear. For example, Machinist, Bard, Dancer, they share gear. Reaper and whatever, I don't know, also share gear. But Ninja is the only class that doesn't share gear with another class. So I think it's gonna be something similar to it, but I might be overthinking that.
Yeah. I mean, the philosopher kind of thing. I mean, all foreign names are like references to Renaissance painters or big brains from back in time, right? So, I mean, there could be a connection there that you would have your magical DPS, your caster coming from, something with like history with books. And I know we already have a book caster, but Urianger would be the favorite scion to actually step into that role for sure.
Yeah. Well, we will find out soon. It's not long to go before the EU Fan Fest. We've only got a couple of months, so we'll know in October. Or we'll definitely know at least one of the jobs in October. I'll be very surprised if they don't reveal one of them.
We might even be able to all hear it at the Fan Fest itself, because we're going to have an Elite meet as well.
Yeah, well, we're going to talk about that in the FC news, Cristina, so let's hold that thought there. But yeah,
I'm hyped.
I know. So let's move on, guys. Conscious of time, it's good discussion. We're covering some good grounds here. So moving on from the jobs. So we've talked about the tribes. We know one of them, the Pelu Pelu. We've talked about the jobs or the news that we know. We've talked about the story and the zones. They also obviously confirmed all of the Final Fantasy XIV staples that are returning. Some of them, no surprise. A couple of them I thought it was interesting they're bringing them back. So I'll just kind of reel through everything they said is coming back with Dawntrail. So we've got Fates and Hunts. So Bad Ellie will be happy. Treasure maps, Ellie will be happy. Obviously side quests, dungeons. One of the interesting ones, they are bringing back more variants and Criterion dungeons in Dawntrail, which makes me excited.
And the big question that Belle has, will it be good loot?
Of course, we need to have rewards.
Good loot that's good enough to lure enough people to it, because all the loot that you got before on the variant was crappy. That's Belle's words.
We'll come back to that in a minute, Chris. Let me rattle through this list, guys, and then we can dive into any of it. So variant dungeons are coming back. They are going to have more Alliance raids again, and they said this time the Alliance raids will be very Final Fantasy-ish, so they're probably not going to be spin-offs, which I'm a fan of. 8-player raids are going to be there, obviously. Ultimate raids are going to be back. Trials are obviously going to be there. More Blue Mage updates. Interesting. That Blue Mage is not going away. Hildebrand is back. We'll move swiftly on. Deep dungeons are coming back. So that's interesting. They're going to be doing deep dungeons again. More gold sources stuff. Obviously, more gear, crafting, PvP. And finally, they also said they're going to be releasing new lifestyle content akin to Island Sanctuary, but not Island Sanctuary. So again, very interesting. So for me, the ones out of all of that stand out as interesting, worth discussing, is the continuation of variant dungeons, more Blue Mage, I guess the fact that deep dungeons are going to continue as well. And the fact that they're staying with the Final Fantasy theme for Alliance raids. For me, those are the bits, I guess, that I find the most interesting. Everything else is kind of standard you'd expect from an expansion. What's your guys' thoughts on all of that? What stands out as interesting?
Hildebrand.
No Hildebrand, or the fact that there is Hildebrand?
Oh, there's more Hildebrand coming, yeah. It's confirmed.
Let's destroy him.
Yes, I agree
might
totally.
have
100%. 100%. I'm with you, Ruth. I'm with you.
I
got
love
your back.
Hildebrand.
Benny Hill.
I
There's,
love.
there's no escape.
I
can't
love
stand it.
Hildebrand.
Every time the
I-
twat is on screen, I want to circumcise
Oh,
myself.
I love Hildebrand, and nobody is gonna make me change my mind. I love Hildebrand, especially with this last bits of story. I cannot say too much because I will be spoiling, but there was a part that got me like, aww, and yeah, I mean, it's funny, it's goofy, it's weird, it's like my personality in a story. I mean, if Hildebrand was a real person, I would ditch Omega and marry him. I swear to God. Sorry,
I'd go to
Omega.
prison.
I still love you, but you go to prison. No, you're not gonna kill my husband. Whatever, he's
Oh,
gotta
seriously.
be. But
If I could travel back in time and it was him and Hitler in the same room and I had a bullet with 2 guns, I'd kneecap
Hildebrand's going.
bullet with
like
2
fucking
guns.
Hildebrand, and then I'd beat him to death with another gun.
No,
But,
Hildebrand is amazing, and the weapons that are crafted by the things are amazing, and I love Hildebrand, and I love that I forced everyone who wants the relic to look at the Hildebrands.
Brutal. That
I love
Yoshi P literally said, "You don't have a choice anymore. You will do Hildebrand."
Oh,
He literally-
Justin.
You know what he should do as well? He should make the cutscenes unskippable.
no, Christina.
Yes.
What's wrong with you?
This is a terrible idea,
This fucking
Christina.
hurts you.
He would make it.
Seriously.
Christina, you've come up with some ideas in the past, Christina, but that one, it's up there as one of the worst.
No, they need to make the Hildebrand cutscenes unskippable.
On the swiftly changing subject,
Yeah,
I don't know
please.
if they'd actually do this, but do you know what I think would be pretty epic is when they're talking about the Alliance raids being more Final Fantasy-esque.
Hmm.
Do you know this split that we could possibly have or potentially have with the Scions? Wouldn't it be brilliant if they actually did it that you like each boss was a Scion?
Oh, have the Scions as the Alliance raid bosses.
Yeah.
That'd be insane.
Yeah, I
it'd be
don't know if
pretty
they'd ever do it, but I think it would be so fucking epic. So epic.
That would be
dude.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And get them to morph into one of the primals. I don't know if you've played FF16, but in FF16 you can basically like absorb the primals abilities. So have like each of the Scions like kind of channel Ifrits and Garuda, etc.
Yeah.
That would be pretty cool. Yeah, that would be cool. But yes, yeah. So all that stuff that I mentioned, guys. What's the stuff I guess that you're most interested in, or other than Hildebrand, that we've mentioned, or is that kind of all? I guess just stuff that you'd expect. And
I'm looking forward to so. I've taken a bit of a break from the game lately, and I'm genuinely looking forward to just finishing content now. Go into 7.0 and actually getting back into high-end content properly because it's a level playing field again. And then I'm going to get into the variant dungeons and things like that, and get into raid and stuff like that. So that's what I'm mostly looking forward to is a fresh start, so I can properly end game content again.
That is always the good thing about expansions, is it gives everyone a chance to get all back on the level playing field and enjoy the content together. So yeah, I think that's a really good shout. For me, I guess I'm most excited about the fact that variants and hopefully Criterions are staying around for the long term. But yes, Cristina, we definitely need better rewards in Criterion Dungeon because it's hard content. It's as hard as Savage raiding, but you don't get as good rewards as Savage raiding. So I think that's still a gap. I'm hoping that they will fix that at some point. But I love.
You do get the proud feeling once you've cleared it.
Yeah, once you've cleared a bit, what's going to make you go back and do it 10 more times?
Nothing,
the reason
a chair.
I mean, you took so many. You took so many time on practicing for those hard things.
Yeah.
And then you make a static, and you gather a group of friends or party finder people. I don't care. And you're just trying to clear it, and then you finally cleared it.
Yeah, that's great.
The feeling that you get when you finally clear it.
Yeah.
You cannot buy that, not with 10
but
million.
After that, what happens after that? What happens after that, though?
You wait for the next
But that's the problem. We want to carry on playing it because, like you said, it's awesome that you cleared it as a team. We want to be able to keep going back and do it more. But there's got to be a reason to go. The first time, the reason you go is because you want to clear it and have that celebration. But we need a reason to keep going back to it, just like you do with Savage Raids. You keep going back because you want to get all the gear and get best in slot. So there's lots of ways they could do it.
Okay, I'm just a bench in a static. Okay, but I don't give a shit about the gear. Okay, mounts are fun and glamours are fun and all that. I agree. But the feeling that you get when you finally clear that shit as a team, that's such a
that's
nice
good.
feeling.
I don't disagree.
And by then, I would be traumatized for all the hours that I spent trying to wrap around my head around the mechanics. I would be so traumatized. So it would be a relief.
You wouldn't want to go back.
Like, I finally cleared it. I'm never going back again. Never.
I get that. But I'll tell you why I'm happy that they're keeping it into Dawntrail as a content, because they could have just ditched it, is because I've always thought that in other MMOs, you have small scale difficult content. So if you don't want to have to find 8 people and get into a static with 8 people, you just want to be able to do challenging content, but with a small group of friends. Yeah. Now you can. Yeah. And for a lot of people that's easier. It's not as intimidating. It's more accessible. So I like the fact that there's tough content for a small group of people. I think that's a really nice thing to have. So I do hope it's here for a long time to come. But yeah, give us some better damn rewards, Square Enix. Ruth, what about you? Is there anything you're looking forward to in particular with Dawntrail in terms of gameplay content?
I'm a little bit in the same boat as Clem, but not because I wanted to take a break, but more because of enforced break. But I'm really also, honestly, I'm looking so forward to getting rid of this whole Void story arc, and it feels so much filler. Right? So for me, getting a start, I sincerely hope they never do a full content release at XPAC 7.0, right, where everything coming after is just filler. I hope they learned from that, because this was a horrible situation. I mean, the Endwalker, Endwalker itself was fine. To come back to my I hate Endwalker, no, Endwalker itself was fine. Every patch after that was shit, right? And that is why it left a sour taste. So I'm just hoping to say, hey, look, we're starting at a new story. We don't repurpose a Final Fantasy XIV storyline. No, we're actually going to go somewhere.
Yeah. Hopefully it'll be another 10 years before that happens, Ruth.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing they can do with it now, is there, at this point? But we haven't had anything like that happen since. We've always looked forward to the patches, ready to set us up for the next expansion. But these patches haven't set us up for the new expansion. It's just, as you said, it's shit. It's crap.
It is shit. And I mean, for me, the whole new start with a new graphical update, it makes sense. It feels fresh. It all gets in the same alignment. I think also to come back to the question about how do new players start, also for what they're saying in the chat, what some people are saying about the Xbox impulse for new players. I think it's good to understand that there's 2 types of players, players that really want to experience the story, and hardcore MMO players that just want to go quickly to the end and start raiding. I think it's good for both, because it's a new story, right? They can experience the entire 10-year arc, which is fine. It's all there. They won't experience it in the same way. They can do it in a few months and be done with it. But everything else after that, free game. Everyone's starting at that point, and it feels fresh. It feels exciting, and I'm looking forward to it. It's another year, sadly.
Yeah, I mean, the good thing is... Sorry, go on, Clem.
I was just to say, there's one thing I'm really not looking forward to, and I mean really not looking forward to.
Hildebrand.
Oh, well, that goes without saying, to be honest. I think I've described my feelings on Hildebrand quite eloquently. It's the strategy board that they're introducing, because it means that we're not going to... it's coming in, but it means that we're not going to see fantastic drawings done in paint in the Discord anymore, these wonderful drawings that used to appear all the time. This strategy board's going to kill that, and that upsets me a little bit.
Yeah, that's a good segue, Clem. Oh, go on, Cristina.
I was thinking about that as well, but more I was kind of feeling sorry for all these people who do the first rating guides on YouTube, because we have, I mean, there are so many people on YouTube who make guides about those raids, and they get a lot of viewers because they make those guides about mechanics and all that. So I'm just wondering if they implement a plan into the game, if it will actually be useful to still watch a guide.
Oh yeah,
But-
it's not gonna kill the guides on YouTube, Cristina, because the system that they're introducing is not gonna give us how to do the mechanics. It's just a whiteboard that you can, as a raid leader,
Oh,
you
so
can
you need
use
to
it.
fill it in yourself.
You have to make it yourself.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
I thought it was. I thought it was
they're not going
literally.
to give us the.
thing.
They're not going to give us the
Okay.
mechanics. It's like
Okay,
a
I
white.
thought it was literally a guide in
No,
game.
no,
so
no.
That's
It's
why.
it's
Okay.
it's so that what it will do. It might mean less macros though, because instead of people posting a macro for positions,
They will use the
and
board.
things, they'll just use the board and say they'll put a link to the board and you can look at it and say, okay, that's where we're standing. Okay, that's where we're going to stand for these
Oh, I
mechanics.
see. I really
But,
misunderstood that, because I really thought it was just. I got kind of happy because I was like, yay! I never have to watch a guide
not gonna
again.
make it that
Nobody's
easy
gonna
for us.
pressure me.
They're not gonna make it that easy for us. But this is a good segue. Let's go into systems. So the last segment we've got on Dawntrail before we go into FC news is all the systems stuff that they announced. And yeah, one of the big ones was the strategy board system or raid planning. So yeah, I think that the people who make the YouTube guides are still going to make YouTube guides, but what players will be able to do in game now is kind of save the positions, like the player positions and stuff for different mechanics in the fight, and then you can share that with the rest of the group, or maybe put it in Party Finder so you can click on it and say, oh, okay, so that's where we're standing, or that's the strat that we're using. A bit like they do now with they often have like links to external websites where they have raid plans set up, and you click it and it shows you where everyone will be positioned, and kind of raid leaders will set up their strats that way. It just means that you can now do it in game. There's a lot of jokes going around saying which players got banned from FF14 so that this addition could be added to the game, because obviously it's an idea that Square Enix have taken from players that have been doing this for a while now. The memes are strong, but it's a good addition. It's a good addition. I'm glad they're adding it.
It might even actually like allow people, like it'll almost give Party Finder a little bit more accessibility, because when I look at Party Finder and it's like, okay, 2 times 1 times x4 saving E equals MC squared mammal jar 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 binks strat. I'm like, what the fuck does that even mean? Like, I don't even bother because I don't understand what it means, and I'm not about to look it up on the internet to work out what it is. Whereas if you just join a party and they can just go, here's a strategy board, this is what you need to do, I'll be like, cool, okay, no problem at all. I don't mind joining Party Finder instead of trying to work out what the fuck Leonardo da Vinci XX1472594 strat is, you know?
Yeah, Cristina and Ruth, you're gonna have to share the joke. What's going down? Fill us in. Bring us into the joke.
Okay, so if anyone who's watching, in Discord we have the Alith-Cast Lounge chat, so we could easily communicate. And this is actually a throwback to Clem's earlier, earlier comparison of Hildebrand with a
Oh, Jesus Christ in heaven.
And we just came up with a new tag called Hell Hildebrand. So,
Yeah.
I see.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Very, very inappropriate.
And there is still a licking cats Giphy in there, so every time that chat opens, I see a cat
should've-
going.
I should have
So,
guessed
yeah.
you're looking at memes. Why did I should
I
have guessed?
saw the cat, and it's all because I saw the Ruth's message, and I went like, "Fuck!"
Sorry, Clem, this is on
dead.
you.
It was dead.
This is all Clem's fault. All right.
Yes.
Staying on the topic of systems, then. Moving on. I think the system change, which probably got the biggest cheer in the whole FanFest, which seemed to be the most popular news of the day, was the die.
Yeah.
So the
Yeah.
fact
I
that
love
players can now use 2 dies per item, so you can customize your glam a bit more. That seemed to be the most popular announcement of the day, which is so typical of
Yes.
Final Fantasy XIV. What's everyone's thoughts?
No more ugly colors on my glams.
I don't do glamour. Don't care.
Yeah, I'm with you, Roof, as well. Like, I know that everyone says that it's like the true end game, but like I'm not one.
It's not
for
the true
glam.
end game. It is the true game. As soon as I reached the level that was required to unlock the possibility of being able to dye stuff, I went out to the market board. I spent 500,000 gil on freaking dyes. When I said that in the FC chat, people were saying that I was crazy. They didn't know me very well back then. If people say that I'm crazy now, it's normal. But back then, they were like, you crazy. I was like, why? I'm just buying dyes. They're like, you can buy them from a vendor. I was like, oh, shoot. Okay, but no, I'm excited because you know how many stuff that was so pretty if I just could dye it. And like, not just dye it with one dye. No, just completely dye it. Because you know that, I mean, the glamour lovers will get me on this one. You get a nice top or a nice pants and you decide to dye it. But the piece or the parts that you can dye are the parts that you don't want to dye. You want to dye the other stuff. Or when you put your favorite color on something, but then the other color that's undyeable is still there. It clashes. It hurts my eyes. I'm like, I'm so happy they decided to put 2 freaking dyes in there.
The sad thing is, right, when I heard the news, the first thing that came to my mind was, great, I'm gonna have to buy double the amount of dyes now for every time I want to dye my gear, because it's now two dyes per item instead of one. So all I was thinking about is how much it's gonna cost me to get all the dyes.
But Belle, you only use white. Every goddamn outfit I see you in is white.
Yeah, but I'm gonna want to dye every piece white. That's the problem, right? So
Wait a minute, he was rebellious last week. He was he dyed his blue mage thing in green last week, didn't he? Like rebellious.
Oh yeah.
Like the purple outfit,
and on
though.
my anniversary, he was black. Never saw
There we
Belle in
go.
black.
I'll make
Black.
exceptions. I was even a Lalafell once, if you can believe it.
Yeah.
For Christmas, I was a Lalafell for Christmas.
Yeah.
Me and
Lalafell.
Spicy.
You and Spicy. Good.
So the
other thing is the eyeglasses, isn't it? Like,
Yes, I was coming to eyeglasses as the next one. Yeah,
I'm just expecting Final Fantasy XIV to look like the world's shittest Matrix movie, because you know just everyone is going to be wearing sunglasses regardless of what they're wearing. Like,
I'm not wearing
expecting it to
sunglasses,
look
man.
good.
I'm not
No,
wearing
I just
sunglasses.
expected
I
it.
want a monocle.
I wear glasses on most of my glams because I wear glasses in real life. And I'm like, glasses they're like a piece of my body. They're not a headpiece. They're my eyes. My glasses are my eyes. And every goddamn time I am creating a glamour and I'm like, I like this headpiece, but I need my glasses. I need to see stuff, you know? I mean, I'm very into the moment when I'm creating glamours for my character and everything. So I'm like, I kind of want to have glasses, and I also want to have this cute crown, but no, not possible.
Yeah, it is cool that
But now
they've
it's gonna be possible.
Yeah, and one thing that is cool is they said it's not going to take up a slot in your inventory, because it will be basically like a system, so you can apply the glasses, but it doesn't take up any space in your inventory or take up any slots, so you can still have your headgear and have glasses on at the same time. A bit like how the umbrellas work.
What about those headpieces that are already glasses? Like, are you going to end up walking around with 2 pairs of glasses on?
I don't know what they're going to do there. I guess one will overwrite the other. I'm guessing. I don't know.
That's a good
Not
question.
make
I
part
think,
of the session.
but if you use them, you can just, for example, you have this hat. I don't know the name, but you have a headpiece with glasses on. But if you do /visor, then the
You
glasses
can turn the glasses a bit
disappear.
off with the visor.
Yeah. So maybe if you maybe they will rearrange it that those glamours that you still use visor, or that you can't use visor when you're wearing glasses.
It's
Because
most
that would
likely
look silly.
It would be something like the umbrella, you know, like.
Yeah, I think it'll be like that.
No, that's a stupid fashion accessoire. They disappear all the time.
And what do you think glasses are? In the game, not in real life. I'm sorry.
I don't need these glasses for fashion. I need them to see.
I think it will be. I think the glasses will work differently from the umbrella, in the sense that once you've equipped it, it will always stay equipped, so you can go in dungeons and things with them equipped. That's the way that they said it. They made it quite a big deal that you can now wear glasses and headgear at the same time. So I think it'll be more than like an accessory. I think you'll be able to see it at all times. But but we'll see. I mean, I'm sure it's going to be popular by all the all the RPers and glam specialists in the FC. So just quality of life thing.
Popular because I need to wear glasses in real life. I want my character to have glasses as well. Okay.
So the only other things I've got on system updates, stuff that we knew, I think. So the furnishing limit for houses is finally going up, but they did say it won't be at launch of Dawntrail. It'll be sometime within the 7.x series, so it'll probably come a bit later. But I know a lot of people have been waiting years to have more housing slots, because many times in our FC house we've had to have like the upstairs just blocked off because we didn't have enough slots to furnish.
We still have a blocked off room. We still have a blocked off room in the FC house because we couldn't fill it. We just couldn't fill it.
Can I just say that? Can they not please first fix the housing issue before they fix the furniture issue? I mean,
they would argue they already have with the lottery system.
Is there a housing issue? I don't know. I know nothing about a housing issue.
House now for like a few months. I've never been into housing. I've not been successful.
Yeah, it's because it's a lottery now.
I lost mine.
Oh my god!
Yeah. They're gonna have. They just need to keep adding.
Cristina now with the fashion, and now there's a tiny violin for you as well, Clem. There you go.
The only thing I wish they'd do is in the wards, which are FC wards, where there's plots that aren't being bought, they need to make it available to individual buyers so that at least we can have, because there's wards that are just barren with empty plots, and there's loads of players who would love to have a
our
house.
FC house in a plot with all our FC members owning a house.
I think they should do. I think they should mix. They should mix it. Yeah.
Anyway, Guild War Islands. Yes.
What's that, Griff?
You remember in Guild Wars 1, as a guild, you would have an island for your guild, right? Where
I didn't play it.
You didn't have private housing, but you would have like a big island that was your guild island. They could do something like that. Have individual pieces. Even back in Final
Then it
Fantasy
cuts you
XIV,
off the world. If you get an island for the guilds, then I mean, no other non-guild players can come to the guild house.
They can be invited.
Niren has just said a thing in the chat there, which I think is what is going to happen. Is the next housing area will probably be Garlemald.
Holy
like
shit,
the rebuild of Garlemald, like the rebuild of Ishgard. It wouldn't shock me if they did the same thing. Yeah,
it's a good point. Could be. Okay, guys. I think. Oh, sorry, go on, Cristina.
On the matter of what Ruth said about the islands, I mean, I noticed a few times that just random people, they were walking around the housing area our FC house is in, and then they just stop by at the FC house and they're like, oh, these are nice people, and then they start chatting and all that. So if it would be on a separate thing away from the other players who are not in the guild, I think it wouldn't be so much fun.
We'll see. It's an ongoing challenge to get housing perfect, so we'll see. But just to wrap up this section, guys, because we are going to move on to the FC news. I think we've had a pretty good meaty discussion on all things Dawntrail there, so well done, everyone. But final thoughts, I want you guys to give me a rating out of 10 in terms of how hype or excited are you for Dawntrail based on everything you've seen so far. So out of 10, where is your hype level at? So Cristina, you go first.
200 million.
That's the typical.
No, I'm very hyped. I can't put a 10 on it because I'm just very hyped. Can't say
You're
less.
always you're just permanently hyped, Cristina.
I am permanently hyped, but I mean, come on, Belle. No Hildebrand, new main scenario, new patch. I mean, the freaking dice, the extra housing space, just everything. I love it.
Cool. Clem, where are you at out of 10 hype levels?
I can see that the chat is putting in their chats as well. I'm about middle. I'm about 7.5 at the moment.
Okay.
On its way. It takes me time, and we'll get more details as the fan fests go on, etc. So as we have more of these at Alith-Casts, I feel that my hype
levels will increase. Also, it's quite far away, so it's like a whole year away, right? So I feel like the hype levels go up a notch when you're like a month away from it being out.
Yeah.
Ruth, what about you?
Well, my score is influenced by the fact that I hate the filler arc so much, so I'm really on like a 9 or 10 at the moment. And my hype level can go down. I mean, I'm also really looking forward to starting anew, So for me, it's really like, okay, let's get there and get this current shit show over with. So I'm really excited for that.
That's fair. I'm probably an 8 out of 10. It all looks pretty positive. There's nothing really that I've seen that I'm disappointed by. Need more information, like Clem said. But overall, pretty happy with what I've seen. So 8 out of 10 for me. The chats, there's lots of 7s and 8s out of 10 in the chat. 7 out of 10 from Softy. 7 from Flecky. What have we got? 8 out of 10 from Bob. So pretty good scores. But we will stay close to this, guys. And as we get more Dawntrail news, we will talk about it here on Alith-Cast. And if anyone wants to join us, go ahead, Cristina. We're not finished yet. We've got Alith news to do next.
I know. But I wanna, before we wrap this up, I just wanted to ask everybody who is watching, give me a number to 10 about how hyped you are about the addition of the dice.
Of the dice. What's the hype levels for die, guys, out of 10?
Yeah. I need to know how many glamour lovers we got in the FC. I need to know.
Lowest score wins, I'll give you, 500 million gil.
500 million gil. You're calling me the oil baron. Okay.
It's coming from the guild's coffers, mate. So.
Yeah, right.
Roof! No! Okay, Clem, you owe Roof some money.
Right, guys, let's while we're waiting for the scores to come in, we will dive into all things FC news. We have got some news to share, so let's get the news up on the screen. Cool. So, firstly, in terms of a quick update of how we're doing as an FC, very, very good. Is probably how I'd sum it up. In June, we actually ranked second place overall on the server for the whole month in terms of most active FCs on the server. Second place for a whole month is a pretty phenomenal achievement. So, just congratulations and thank you to all of our members who've basically been active, vibrant, keeping the guild alive, holding events, playing the game with each other. It's all of the members' activity that helps us climb those ranks. So, we're not competitive as a guild. We don't really compare ourselves to other FCs and things, but it is nice to see that we're second most active FC for June. So pretty awesome achievement. In July, we hit the number 1 spot for 2 weeks out of 4, which is again pretty impressive. That half of the month of July we were the most active FC on the server, so fantastic. And I think it was 2 or 3 days ago we had around 55-56 people online at peak, which is pretty awesome. I mean, we normally see those kind of numbers when a patch comes out or something big happens in game, but to have 56 online on a regular weekday without any new content, it's pretty cool to see. So I think activity levels are really good in the FC at the moment. Discord is super active. There's always loads of new threads popping up, forum threads where people are jumping into chats around all sorts of things, real life stuff, whether it's cooking, other games that people are playing, Baldur's Gate 3, Palia, Remnant,
animal pictures.
All the animal pictures are amazing to see, all the screenshots, all the discussion around Dawntrail and the patches. Discord is just super active at the moment, and there's always people in voice chatting in voice, which is great to see. We've had really good turnouts for Alith Awards. I think we hit a record number of nominations, didn't we, again, Cristina, on the last Alith Awards. So activity is really active at the moment in Alith. So if anyone's watching the show, Bob's comment, if anyone's watching the show who isn't in an FC and is looking for a home, cheeky plug, we are welcoming new people, and we're a pretty casual, chilled, social FC. We're not hardcore, we're not elitist, we're not competitive, we just have fun, we socialize. What's that?
We're just weird and fun.
we're just all a little bit crazy. You need a certain amount of craziness to feel good.
But it's good vibes. There's no drama happening in the guild. It's really peaceful and everyone's getting along and it's pretty positive. So come and join us. Hit us. You can go on our website, alithff14.com. You can apply to join us. Normally it takes about a day and we process you, get you in. Overall status update, very good, and I think we're going to have a great year ahead of us. Next up on the news is just a quick update on is that why Bob was talking about Belazarus bin Salman? That's the name of my alt. So we're into the oil business now, people. So just for those of you guys who don't know, what we've got a lot of company credits that we've amassed over the years that we do nothing with. They just sit there. We spend those company credits on buffs that we obviously apply in game, but we always have millions and millions of credits left, nothing to do with them. So what we've been doing is buying Ceruleum tanks and basically selling them to other FC leaders who need Ceruleum tanks. They love it because they use it for their airships and submarines, and it creates some gil for us that goes straight into the FC chest, and then we use that for prizes for Fun Day Sunday events or competitions. Basically, it goes back to the members. So I can tell you that 0 of the gil we make from the oil goes to any of the officers, including me.
No,
all of that money goes... I'm still broke. All of that money goes into the FC chest, and we use it for events and things. And we are going to be encouraging our event leaders and staff members to host more events because we want them to use the money. So we're going to be opening the coffers to the guys who host events to give out as prizes. Cristina, what do you want to say?
I need to tell everyone that I am still working on it, but I noticed, I mean, we all noticed, I believe, that there has been a lot of activity in-game and at the FC house, and more even casually. People just like to hang out around the FC house, show off mounts, acting crazy, trying to run away from me because I'm crazy, and all that stuff. We also managed to make some funny screenshots and all that, and I got an idea of creating an event like 1 time a week or 1 time a month where we just come together as an FC and we just do casual stuff. We don't have to hang out together for hours, but we just gather all around the FC house and we do a small screenshot competition. So that means that we will all be at the FC house, make screenshots, whether you use GPOs or not, I don't care. Just make funny screenshots, and then the one who has the nicest screenshots will get a prize. That's a great idea. That we will provide from the Bell Shaman Oil Company.
Bell Shaman Oil Company. Bell Shaman. It sounds like a fucking kebab.
So, just on that topic of screenshots, we have got some randomly selected member screenshots cycling in the background. So every time we do an Alith-Cast, you may have noticed that during the news segment, we just showcase some of the screenshots members have posted in our Discord. So if you spot any of your pictures in there, I can see that some of you have spotted some of yours. Thank you for sharing your screenshots on Discord, and you're famous. Cool. So moving on to the next news item is Discord soundboard. So ever since Discord sneakily introduced the soundboard feature into Discord and like by default just gave everyone access to it, I think it's fair to say that everyone in the FC has been having way too much fun. And if I hear another duck quack in the middle of a raid, I'm literally going to lose my mind. There it is. There it is. But on the note of Discord soundboard, we were thinking that we would like to populate our soundboard with sound effects that you guys, our members, have put forward, because we'd love to have like a bank of sound effects that really represent Alith. So maybe, I don't know, and I know that Lalafel's put forward a few like voice clips from a couple of our members, things that they've said during voice chat, and it'd be nice for us to get some really typical Alith memes and one-liners that we can get onto the soundboard, and we can just use, you know, for fun. And it'd be nice to have stuff in there that's been put forward by our members. So if any of you guys have a great idea of a sound effects, which is being, you know, very kindly demonstrated as we speak, that you think really represents Alith and would go down well, get in touch with me. I'll share it with the officers. We'll make sure that they're appropriate, and then we'll get them up in the soundboard, because we want to fill them up. Cool. Next up, a big one. We have some news finally on the next Alith real life meet. People have been asking me about an Alith real life meet for years, and so we're really excited that we've finally got a date confirmed for it. in case you guys haven't seen, it's been on the event calendar for a while. We're doing a meet on the 20th of October in London. It's literally the evening before FanFest. We've done that strategically so that those people who are already traveling to London anyway for FanFest can get a 2-in-1 and basically meet with their fellow Alithians at the same time. But also, those people who couldn't get a ticket for FanFest, at least you have something else fun and exciting to look forward to, because you can come to London anyway and come and join the Alith meet instead. So basically it's got a win-win for everyone, if of course you can make it over to London, because I know that for those of you guys around the Europe, it's a bit of a trek, but if you can make it and have a nice little weekend in London, meet up with your Alithians, we'd love to have as many of you guys there as possible. We are going to be putting up another update within the next 24 hours, where we're going to be confirming details of the venue. But we have a venue finally confirmed. So big shout out to Sierra, Officer Sierra, who's our resident London local, who's done lots of research and into venues within London, and we found 2 locations that we've decided to go with. I won't say it on the stream, because obviously it's for Alithians only. We don't want loads of other people turning up, but we are going to put up the details of the venue on Discord, so keep an eye on Discord. We're also going to put up a form where anyone who's definitely coming, we'll want you to confirm your attendance on that form, because we are going to be reserving an area or space at one of the venues for us all to hang out. All I can tell you is that there's going to be lots of drinks, food, vibes, there's going to be banter, it's going to be fun. It's a pretty informal get together, and the venues that we've picked are very affordable, so and also quite flexible. So if you want to come and just have some drinks, you can come and just have drinks. If you want to have a meal, you can have a meal, and there's lots
it's
of...
It's a pressure-free FC, so it will be a pressure-free
It's very pressure-free. Very pressure-free and very affordable. The place that we've picked, there's all sorts of foods that you can pick from there, whether it's just something small or a big meal, and pretty good prices. So it's quite accessible to everyone, really. And even if you don't want to come for the food and just want to come and have a couple of drinks and hang out with us, you can do that as well. But we'd love to get as many people there as possible, guys. So definitely sign up to that you want to come along. We are going to have a deadline, so when we need to confirm, because we need to reserve the space. And then after that, if people want to come but they haven't signed up, you can just turn up, but space might be limited. So yeah, that's going to be pretty exciting and be fun to see everyone in person and have a bit of a laugh and take some real life group screenshots together, which would be awesome. And maybe we'll even do a cheeky live stream while we're there. For those people who couldn't make it, we can do a little live stream and say, hey, it's us, we're in real life. Yeah, boy. Thanks, Cristina.
That wasn't me. It wasn't me.
How long is that?
Very long. But yeah, so that's the update on the Alith Real Life Meet, 20th of October, Friday. It's going to start around 6 p.m-ish UK time and go on till late in the evening. I'm sure some people will go on till the following morning. But there will be some details coming out on Discord, so keep your eyes peeled, and hopefully we'll see loads of you guys there. Next up on the news, Alith Awards. So I'm going to hand over to Cristina to promote this a bit. We've already revealed all the last winners at the last Alith-Cast, so we won't do that again. But Cristina, is there anything that you just want to shout out in regards to Alith Awards before I move on?
I mean, everyone knows how it goes. Vote, vote, vote. Put your things in the thank you channel. Put your things on the website. Make sure my fingers hurt. I like pain. No, I'm very proud of everyone for reaching a new milestone on the amount of votes that we got. We also implemented the Dungeon Hopper section, and I did get some feedback about people who voted for others and wrote a comment on the website, but they didn't see the comments in the... Clem, stop laughing, you're distracting me.
I was just laughing at the cat face that just appeared on Ruth's head. Like, I don't know how that happened, but okay. Yeah, sorry.
That was a soundboard. Okay.
Soundboard,
anyway,
yeah.
So I'm very proud of the FC. I'm very proud of everyone who puts in the votes. If you don't know what Alith-Cast is, you will figure it out soon. And if you have any questions, just feel free to send a message to me or to one of the other officers, or even staff members. People can also ask it in Member Lounge. I think the majority of our members knows how it goes. And well, I'm very excited as always. And if you don't vote, I will chase you. I will chase you down. I will beat you. So
have we got a date yet for the next ceremony? Cristina,
yeah, it's gonna be in September, and it should be on the 3rd of September. So,
good stuff.
But
I'm looking forward to it.
I'm gonna put it up. And it's gonna be fun. So,
excellent. I'd look forward to it. Good. Okay. And finally, we are going to give a special welcome to our newest members of the family. We've had some fantastic new members join us recently, so let's give them all a massive warm welcome. So I'll just reel off the last 10 people that we welcomed to the family. So Vesper Zone, welcome to Alith. And Emma Worf, welcome to you as well. We've got Ilria Nix, also recently joined. Welcome. Nelia Celestia. Arkanen Zoranda, Maelgrim Karkaris, Dirge Hayot, Gayram Lud, Valeria Dragova, and Aira Wells, our last 10 recent joiners. So welcome to the family. Make yourselves at home. I'm sure everyone's making you feel welcomed. Yep. Good stuff. Well, that is the end of our news segment, I'm pleased to say. So we are going to go into some closing comments and just kind of where you can find us and stuff. But yeah, thank you everyone who joined us live in the chat. Chat's been great, reading all the comments. Yep. And as usual, Cristina, Clem, Ruth, thank you for making the time to join another cast. I know you've not been feeling 100%, Clem, so well done for making it through.
Yep.
Still alive.
You made it.
Any final comments from you guys before I wrap things up?
Massive thanks to everyone. I love the FC. I love everyone here. And I also want to say a big thank you to all the recruiters and basically to everyone. But yeah, I just want to shout out to the recruiters that they're doing an amazing job. And if you want to become a recruiter or you want to do something more for the FC than you're doing at this moment, just feel free to let us know or check the website for vacancies.
Yep, absolutely.
And a big thanks to everyone.
Good stuff. Clem?
I'll just close with, fuck all this talk about dyes. The moon exists. And Heil Hildebrand.
Poor Hildebrand, man. What did he ever do?
Oh, okay.
Ruth, some final comments from yourself?
Nothing. Just...
That's a good outro from the Pigeon himself. But yeah, like I said earlier, guys, if you want to join Alith, hit us up on our website, alithff14.com. We are also on X, shall I say, instead of Twitter, so you can look us up on there if you want to follow our tweets or X's. I'm never going to get used to saying that. We're also on Facebook. You can check us up on there. Obviously, we have a YouTube channel, so make sure to subscribe to the channel. Hit the notifications so you get notified when we have a new episode coming up. I am pleased to say you're getting another Alith-Cast next week. We are spoiling you lot, where we will be going into all the 6.5 news. So the patch that's coming up next, which is the final MSQ patch. I think there's 2 parts to it, but it is the finale of the story. We'll be talking about that and all the stuff that's coming with that patch. So hopefully you guys will join us next week. And yeah, thanks again for joining us. Thanks to you, to my fellow Alith-Casters. We'll see you all again next week. Have a great week and take care. See you later.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Cheers, guys. Now tell us when we've turned off so I can have a go at you guys for those useless fucking sound effects.